So tomorrow, the Senate is expected to vote on President Biden's nomination of Nancy Abudu to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit. Now, here's what Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell had to say about Abudu earlier today.
Nancy Abudu is the president's nominee to the 11th Circuit. Her record falls far, far outside the mainstream. Let's begin with the nominee's tenure as Director of Strategic Litigation at the Southern Poverty Law Center. Half a century ago, the SPLC focused its attention on fighting actual white supremacy. Today, it's better known for labeling political opponents as hate groups. Here's how left-wing commentary summed up the so-called hate map a few years ago, quote, "The whole thing is a willful deception designed to scare older liberals into writing checks." The whole thing is a willful deception designed to scare older liberals into writing checks. Over the years, Ms. Abudu has been happy to join in on the fear-mongering. Mr. President, disregard for the rule of law should be immediately disqualifying for anyone seeking a lifetime appointment to the federal bench. Nancy Abudu is the president's nominee to the...
Joining me now to discuss this is Travis Weber, Vice President for Policy and Government Affairs here at the Family Research Council. Travis, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, so before we discuss Nancy Abudu, explain to our viewers and listeners why the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals is so important.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second highest level of in the federal court system, the appeals court system. After these circuits, you go right to the Supreme Court. So the judges all judges are important at the state and federal level. All of them need to be impartial jurists, yet the gravity and the stakes go up when you deal with higher levels. This is a high-level court. We should be examining any nominee for their fitness to be on these seats. And when you have someone like Abudu, it's exceptionally clear that she and others with records like hers are not qualified.
Right, so she wasn't just associated with the Southern Poverty Law Center, this anti-Christian radical left group. She was in leadership.
Strategic litigation director of a group that has smeared opponents, as we know here very well, smeared opponents, taken partisan sides, and not shown any indication she's going to be able to shed that partisanship on the bench.
Well, just last month, a Southern Poverty Law Center attorney, one of her attorneys apparently, was arrested for domestic terrorism in Atlanta for being a part of the attack on that police training site that's under construction outside of Atlanta.
Tony, they had an attorney throw Molotov cocktails and bricks at police. They came out with a statement of support for this individual, who, by the way, now being investigated by the Florida Bar for fitness to hold a bar license. There's been no explanation that has satisfied.
Well, they said that he was an observer. But even if that were the case, take that at face value, he's there standing with Antifa, being an observer for them, facilitating their attack on a law enforcement training center.
This should be of concern for general affiliation with such activities. When you're dealing with a nominee for a Court of Appeal seat, there should be we haven't come close to an explanation for her affiliation, because she needs to be able to show that she is not going to apply the principles that she has been applying at the SPLC, where they've supported this individual. They're investigated for judge shopping in a case in Alabama, challenging a child protection law there, and we know the rest of their history. So there is, as Leader McConnell pointed out, a host of problems here that senators should be concerned about before confirming this nominee.
And that vote is tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. And I think her cloture vote is going to be coming up very soon, and then we're going to see a vote on final passage. But this is, we at FRC have been tracking this nominee, and folks, as folks have been weighing in, we have an opportunity for them to take action again.
Right, they've waited to bring this forward because they had some Democratic senators out, and they needed all of the votes. I mean, with a Senate the Democrats have the slimmest of margins. This is where we're going to see what happens in West Virginia, whether or not we see West Virginia Senator Manchin voting for her, Sinema in Arizona voting for her. So this is a real defining moment.
It is, Tony, and this has been delayed because there have been concerns. I have a letter here, 18 attorneys general, state attorneys general, sending a letter to Leader Schumer and McConnell, expressing their concerns along the lines of what we just discussed. So, folks, at this point still can weigh in. frcaction.org/judges. frcaction.org/judges to let their senators know, do not confirm this nominee.
Yeah, but move quickly. That vote will be taking place tomorrow. But in conjunction with this, we see the Congress, the Democratic side, not the Republican side, but we see the administration and in some places in pockets in the Congress still using the Southern Poverty Law Center as a source of labeling what is domestic terrorism or what is a hate group.
Yeah, Tony, they want to be impartial definer, yet their own employees being charged with domestic terrorism, assaulting police, they're not distancing themselves.
This is like the stuff that Saturday Night Live skits are made of. But this is what is happening on the left. So, folks, I tell you what, weigh in on this because we're getting the Weaponization Committee to look at this to make sure that the Southern Poverty Law Center is not used as a source for anything but maybe evaluating what garbage looks like. And so text SPLC to 67742. This organization is despicable. Literally, it led to a shooting here in our building. It's led to violence against others, and they're held up as a standard. They're a standard of, like I said, garbage. It's despicable, and the government should not be using them. Now, they have every right to exist, but the government should not be using them at all. And the Republicans need to follow through on this. Again, text SPLC to 67742. All right, Travis, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.